Welcome back to Learning Partner. So in this video, we are going to cover template and the reactive form. Okay. So I have some APIs. Let's for the testing. Okay. So as you can see, dealer get all dealer is the API which we will get us the all the dealer records. Okay. So I have clicked on execute. So you can see I get the dealer records. Then second API is add dealer master. With this API, we can insert the data into dealer. Okay, so this is the object what we have to send. Then update dealer master is the API by which we are going to update the existing dealer. And lastly, the delete. Okay, so we can by passing the ID, we can delete it. So we are going to try to complete the basic CRUD operation with this API. Okay. So I have created two components. First is the template form and second is the reactive. So first we will try to cover the template and second reactive. Okay. Now this is the component I have created for template and this is the component I have created for the reactive. I have created routes for also the same, and in app component in the navbar I have added the routes. Okay, that you can see over here. Now let's get started. So first in the template form. Okay. So let me just adjust a little bit. Okay, so first thing is like we need to create the basic structure. So let's try to create a basic structure. So Bootstrap is already installed in my system. So call it. In call it, I'm going to use card. Then inside card, we have card header. BG primary color we can add. Okay. Then here we will have dealer list. Then in card body, we will show our table. Okay, so just let me complete the structure first. The same kind of structure we are going to need outside also. So call 8 is there. So now 4 is remaining. So we will keep 4. Then here we will have create form. Okay. And here we are going to create the form. So this is the basic structure. Let's see how does it look. Okay. So this is the basic structure, how what we have created. In the left side section, we are going to show the table, whatever the records we have, and in the right side we are going to design a form. So first let's try to design the form. So first we need the form tag. Then inside the form tag we are going to design the form. Okay, so let's see what are the properties we have. Okay, so this is the API add dealer master and this is the object which we are going to send. So it contains all these fields. So we have to design the forms like that. Okay, so just to use the basic row column structure, call 6. Okay, in one column we are in one row we are going to have two columns, so we can get call 6 and call 6. First label is going to be there, enter name, then we need the text box. So text input, then we need to add the class, that is form control. Okay, and placeholder. Let's not write the placeholder. Okay, now in second row I'm going to need, in that row only, enter contact number will be there. Now I just need to design the form. Okay, so let me just pause and design the form. Okay, so I have completed the form. So as you can see, same structure I have used, created row, then inside that row we have two columns, so name, remaining fields. So our form will look like this. Okay, now next thing is like we need to create the object. Okay, so we just need to copy this. This is the object that particular API need. Okay, so in .ts we need to create the object. So here, let's say dealer obj is equal to any this. Okay, so let's just empty this instead of string. Okay, so we have created the object. Now to use the template form, first thing we need, like in app module, we need the forms module in the imports of the array. Okay, you will need the where is the forms module? Yeah, this import statement, and that forms module should be added over here. And same for the reactive, we need the reactive form module. Okay, then only you can use the ng model. So in .ts, we have created the object. Now we need to bind this to our all the elements, okay, using ng model. So that will be ng model dealer object dot our property, that is dealer name. Okay, now let's just copy paste this. I will just copy paste first, then we will change the properties. Okay, so last one is address. So that will be assigned with this. Then one more thing, whenever we are using ng model inside the form tag, we need the name property to be present there. Okay, so this name property should be present at all the elements. So dealer name will, okay, this is city. So that is this. City. In name also we need to add the same. Then branch. Here it will give branch. Then name is equal to also branch. Let me do for the remaining. Okay, so I have binded all the things with name also and the ng model also. Okay, so let's save and check. Every time just check like if we don't have any error in the console also. Okay, this is also mandatory. Okay, now next thing is like on the click of the save button, we need to hit this API. Okay, so let's try it out here. And if we click on execute, so this is the API. Okay, so this API we have to hit. So first we need to create the constructor. Inside constructor, we need to create the object of HTTP client. So we can say private HTTP colon HTTP client. Okay. Once I select the HTTP client, you can see import is getting added on the top. Then we need to create the event, that is save dealer, opening, closing, curly bracket, enter. So what we need to do, this dot HTTP, our API call is post method. Okay. So for post, we need two parameters. First is the URL and second is the object. So URL, you can pass it in the string, and second is object, that is nothing but the object which we have created and which is binded to our form. So then dot subscribe method, dot subscribe is nothing but to catch the result whatever this API send back. Okay, then result colon any arrow operators and the curly bracket enter. Okay, and we need the error block also, that is error. Okay, so if we got any error, so error will be cached over here in this error block. Okay, so this is how your normal API call should look like. This is your success block, that is subscribe, and this is your error block. Okay, now let's add a debugger here, and we need to call this function on this button click, that is save. Okay, so click, this is the function. Okay, so let's save and check now. Okay, let me just clear the data first. Okay. So if we check the get all deal master API, let's see how many responses we have. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so currently we have just 3 record present. Now let's try to insert. Let's try ABC traders. Okay, let's put some contact number, alternate contact number, some GST number, bank name, let's say SBI, account number, IFSC code, then branch, let's say it should be something, then city. Okay, and the address. Now if we click on the, let me just add the debugger in the save function. So first by Control P, you can open the particular file. Our file name is template from CRUD component. Okay, so this is our function. So on the line number 29, you can add the debugger. So if you click on the save button, you get the debugger over here. Now you can see the object. You can see whatever the fields we have added, that gets added. Whatever the value we have entered, that gets added according to the field. Okay. So now this we are sending to API along with the API to the with the add dealer delete dealer master. So if I continue, so you can see we have got the response. So result is true and message we have received from the API saved successfully. Okay. So continue. Let's check the API call now again. Execute. So here you can see ABC traders has been added. Okay. So first thing is completed, that we have designed the form, created the object. That object we have binded to the form using ng model and adding name property also. On click of save button, we have called the function, and in that function we have integrated the API. Okay. Next thing is like on the page load, we need to call the data also and show that in the table. So for that, let's create another function, load dealers. Okay. Now the method is get. So you can see this is the get method and this is the URL. So let's just copy paste this. Again, this dot HTTP. Now this time method is get. So for get only URL is mandatory. So that is sufficient. Then again subscribe method, result colon any. Okay. Now if we hit this API, if we integrate this API, we are going to get the records, dealer record that we need to store somewhere. So let's create an array. Dealer array colon any, it will be array. So I'm providing the data type as any. Okay, then this dealers array we have to get store in this response. Okay, now if you see the response of this API, it is returning object, and inside the object we are getting the actual array into the data. So we have to use res dot data. Okay, now we need to call this function on the page load. So either we can make this call in the constructor or we can implement the on init. So we can implement on init, then we can write ng on init. Ng on init. Okay, so here we can call. So this dot load dealers. This function we are calling when the component got loaded. Okay, so this function will automatically get invoked when the component is loaded. So then API call is there. Now, next thing is like we have to design the table and show the forms, right? So let me just copy paste the form. Okay, so this is the table what we are going to need. Now we just need to use the for loop on this tr star ng for let dealer of our array name. Okay, so that is dealers array that we have to put it over here. Then we are showing the serial number, dealer name, city, contact number, and the GST number. So we need the serial number. So for that, we can store the serial number into SR variable is equal to index. Then in TD, we can print serial number, that is serial plus 1, because serial number will start from the 0. So we don't have to show the 0. Then curly bracket interpolation, that will be dealer dot, let's see the properties we get. Dealer name, you can see it is D is in small and N is capital. So always use the copy paste. If you type and if you misspell something, you won't get to see the data and you won't get the error also. Okay, so just keep a habit of typing copy paste these things. Then we need the contact number. So this is the field. Then GST number. So this is GST number. Okay, so let's save and check now. So on the page load, now we will have 2 API calls. So you can see get dealer master API call is there. It has written 4 records. So that 4 records you can bind it to the table. Okay, so let's try the cycle now. Now on the save, once we save the record, we need to again call the updated records, right? So for that, Inside this, we can add the check like this. Okay. Once the save record is successful, then we are again calling the get all dealer API. Okay, by calling this function. So let's save and check now. Okay. So once the save API call is successful, then again we are calling this function, and in this function we are making the API call. Okay. So let's check now. Currently we just have the 4 record. Let's try to add MMM record. Let me just put some dummy data. Okay. Now on click of save, let me open the console and let's check the network call. So in the network call, you will see first save API call will be there. After that, get all dealers API call will be there. So you can see first add API call is there, then get all dealer master, and the latest record you can see over here. So this is, we have added the record, and that same record we have showed in the table also. Now next thing is edit. Okay. So if you can see in the get dealer master, we are getting all the data we have for the dealer. So to edit, we don't need the API call. Okay. So in last edit, we can add the edit and the delete button. So this will be class button btnsm, because we need the small button. Success, edit. Okay. Let me just copy paste this and it will be delete now. Instead of success, we can make it as danger. Okay. Now on click of edit button, what we need to do, we need to create a click event on edit. This will be function, and we need to pass the whole object, that is dealer. Okay. Now let's create the function. So from HTML, we are sending the object, right? So we need to cache that. So here we can say obj::any. Now we need to bind that with the dealer object is equal to obj. Okay, only this we will try now. Let's save and check. So if I click on this Bravium Agritech and click on edit, okay, something is not right. Let's check. Edit function. If we click on edit, yeah, in object we are getting the data, and that data we are assigning to the dealer object. Okay, now the problem is everything is small and in capital. You can see the object we have got, the fields name are in small. Okay, and the properties name which we have binded over here are in capital. See, dealer name and everything. So let's just make it small. If I have changed everything to the small case only, here also and here also. Okay, so let's see now. Now if I click on edit, so you can see in the object we have got the whole object on which record we have clicked, and that we have stored into the dealer object. So you can see that same thing is binded over here. Let me disable and check. Let's try the 4 record. So you can see on which record I'm clicking on edit, that same data is getting populated over here. Now we just, instead of save button, we just need the update button. So update button is depend on the ID. Let me show you how. Okay, so here I'm printing dealer object dot dealer ID. So let's see now. Okay, so currently you can see dealer ID is 0 because at the time of initialization we have kept it as a 0. But once we edit, that is the particular ID on which record we have clicked. See, ID changing. So to show the edit and the update button, save and the edit button, we just need one more button, and we can use this on these buttons to show and hide. So that will be star ng if is equal to, if dealer ID is equal to 0, then we need the save button, and vice versa of this, it will be not equal to 0. Then we have to show the update button. Okay, let me remove this, and instead of save, it will be update dealer now. We need to create the function also. save dealer, after that update dealer. Okay, same thing is there, just URL changes there. Let's check the URL for update. So this is get all delivery, update delivery master. So let's copy paste this. It will be here. Let me remove this. Okay, so this is the API. Again, it needs the object also. So if you can see the API, just the URL changes there, object same we have to send. Okay, now after update also we need to call the again the updated record, so that this function will be over there. So let's save and check now. Save all. Let's check now. So on the page load, you can see save button is there. But if I click on any edit button, so you can see update button is there. Now alternate contact is not present over here. Or let's change the contact number 9988998866. On click of save update, we will have the update API call. See, update API call is there, which we have sent the whole object along with the updated contact number. Okay. And in the table also you get to see the latest API call. Let's check. That was the Bravia Magnetic. So let's check their record. And mobile number should be updated. Yes. Okay. So this is how the update work. Now next thing is, now if you see, once we click on save, this form should get reinitialized. Okay. And on click of update also, form should get reinitialized. So for that, we can create a function initialize form. And what thing we need to do? We just need to initialize the object with empty values. So this will go over here. So this dot dealer object is equal to, then we can call this function after save and update also. So the form will be initialized. And in subscribe also of the update also we need to call this. So let's check how does it work now. Okay, on click of edit we get the data. Let's change something, and if I click on update, see, form is getting cleared. Okay, now so once the form is clear, again you will get to see the save button. Now last thing is the delete. So let's create the API function call for the delete. Okay, let's check the API call for the delete. Okay, so this is the ID. Only changes like the post API is only there, but we don't need to empty object will be there, but with URL we need to send the ID. Okay, so for the dealer ID, so this will be here, and we need to send the ID, question mark ID equal to, you can see ID is the parameter. Okay, so after that we need to send the ID. So ID colon number, and this ID will go over here plus this, and we need to send the empty object because this is an post API, so we need to send the object, but we don't know, we don't have any object that we need to send in case of delete. So just to make it successful, we can send the empty object. Okay, now change the function name, delete dealer. Okay, now we need to call this function on the table delete button, this one, click, and we need to send the ID, that is dealer dot dealer ID. No need to send the whole object because we just need the ID here. Okay, just to add an extra check, we can show the pop-up. Okay, so let constant is confirm is equal to, like the alert, we have the confirm box as well. Okay, which gets true and false once we click on the OK and the delete. We can send a message, are you sure want to delete record? Okay, and we need to make the API call if is confirm is true, means user has clicked on OK, then only we will make the API call, otherwise we won't do anything. So this code will go inside this. Let's see. Okay, now if I click on the delete, you get the pop-up. Okay, Currently I'm clicking on cancel, so nothing happens. Okay, but if I click on the again delete and if I click on OK, so you can see record got deleted. Let's check the network fall as well. On click of delete, if I say cancel, nothing happens. But if I say OK, you can see the API call. See, delete by API call is there. Once we delete, again we are calling the get or delete master API so that we get the updated record. So this is how we have completed the whole Crud operation using template form. Okay. So now we will move on to the reactive form. So with the reactive form, okay, this is the component which we have created for the reactive form. So now the basic thing which we'll need is the same. So let me just copy paste this over here. Okay, then we will remove the unnecessary things. So the API call will be the same, right? We don't have to do anything for the get API call. So let me just copy paste. We add the import. And this is the ng on init we need. Implements on init. As in Angular 15, we don't get this as by default. So we need to manually implement it and add the ng on init. Okay. So let's save it so that we won't have this error. Okay. Then we need on edit and on delete function. So let's remove for this now. We will add it again. Okay. Next thing is we have to first create the form group. Okay. So let's say dealer form colon form group. Okay. It will come from the Angular /forms library. Okay. Then let's initialize it to null. Okay, it will give error like it is not, it won't be initialized to null. So let's see what it suggests because it needs the initialization. So let's see. Add undefined property. Okay, either it is initialized or the undefined. Okay, then we will create a function that will be create form. Or let's say in the constructor, we will create it first. So this dot dealer form is equal to new form group, round bracket, curly bracket, enter. Then we have to add the controls now. Okay. So controls as in what are the properties we had. I mean, these are nothing but the properties we had that we are going to attach there, right? So for that, let me just copy paste this. Let me just remove that double quotes. With empty. Okay. Colon new form control. This is how we create the control. This is one control like that. We need to assign. So let me just copy paste. Okay, so this is how your form should look. This dot dealer form inside in the dealer form we are adding the controls. Okay, these are the controls with initial value empty. Okay, one control is remaining, that is dealer ID colon new form control with initialized value 0. Okay, so first we have to create the form group object, then inside that form group we need to add the controls like this. Okay, next thing in the template form, so this was the form tag. Here we need to add form group name. That will be in the square bracket form group. Then we have to provide the form group variable name which we have created. That is dealer form. It will go over here. Undefined is not assignable. Okay, why it is giving error like that? So let's just remove this and put it over here or in the constructor. Okay, so now that error will go away because we have added the undefined, so it was getting confused. Okay, now first thing, we have created a form group, added controls in the constructor to that form group. Next thing, we have added on the form tag, we have added the form group. Like we have said, like this form is binded to this dealer form. Then instead of ng model, we have to use form controller name. Form control name is equal to the same model property we have. This is nothing but control. So you can see these are the left side values are nothing but the control. Okay. So what I have to do, I'm just using the shortcut now to replace the things. This thing I have to replace with this. So you can see everything got replaced pretty quick. Okay. Then let's remove this. Now on click of save dealers. Okay, so first thing is like on the form we have to add this form group. Then instead of ng model we have to use the form controller name. Remaining things are the same. Okay, now on click of save we need to call the function. So let's create this function. Let's just copy paste that from our template because that is not going to change. Let's just copy paste the same thing. This will go over here. Okay, now I will copy paste this because we have to initialize the form also now. So instead of initialize form, or let's create a method. Okay, and inside that we will put our form here. Okay, so that it will be initialized, or else we can use this dot dealer form dot reset also. So let's try that. This dot dealer form dot reset. Okay, so once the API call is success, then we are resetting the form. Okay, now we don't have that object, right? So what we have is the form. So here dealer form dot value we have to pass. Same in the update function as well. Based on value we have found. Okay. Now let's save and check. Let me add the debugger in the save dealer function so that I can show you like how do we get the value of the form. So if we go to the reactive form, okay, something is not correct. Yeah. Okay. So now we have got the form. Let's try to insert some value. DDD, let's provide some raw data. Okay. Now on click of save, you see we have got in the save dealer function. Now if I see the dealer form, so see in the dealer form we have got the complete object. Like in controls we have got multiple controls, but if you say this dot dealer form dot value, so you get the complete object, the same thing which we used to get in the template form. Now this you can send to the API. Okay, so let's say then we have sent to the initialization. So you can see form also got reset because of this. That is this dot dealer form dot reset. Next thing is we have to edit also. So again, we can write the same function. Let me just copy paste both of that function. So we will see only the edit one because delete is going to be the same. It doesn't have to do anything with the reactive, correct? So let me just remove the delete. Now on click of edit, what we are going to do, we are getting the object from there, right? So item colon any. Now we need to reinitialize the form, but just with the value. So I'm just copy pasting this, put it in here, and then instead of this 0, I need to add item dot dealer ID. Now we are initializing the form with the value. Instead of this, you might have the API call on click of edit, but I have all the data in the array, so that's why I'm not making the API call. Instead of empty, it will be dealer name. Let me just copy paste the thing. Try to use the smart way, rather than typing, use the copy paste so that it will save your time. Then right side bank name, branch, IFSC, GST number. What are the fields you are going to initialize that you need to provide over here? Either you can use the patch value or you can initialize the whole form with the values. Okay, now let's save and check. If I click on edit, you can see same thing is happening. Like the template form, just it is with the reactive form. We have initialized the form with the value. You can see while initialize, we have kept it empty and with the 0, but now we have kept it with the value. Okay, now next thing, once we click on the edit, this save button should be now save button should be replaced with now update button. So let's write the code for that. Okay, so now we have two buttons. Let me just control it back. So here we need again the ngIf. Now just the condition will change. Now condition will be like, this is our form name, form dot controls, then square bracket, single quotes, then dealer ID. This is nothing but our control dot value not equal to 0. If it is not equal to 0, then we will show the update button. Okay, and if it is equal to 0, then we will show the save button. The same thing what we have did here. Now we have just compared it with the control value, and we have to call the other function, that is update dealer, over here. So let's check now. Okay, so when the page load, it is saved, but if I click on edit, you can see update 895. Let's check the value is getting properly or not. Let's check the GST number to 112233 of Bravium aggregate. On click of update, see, value is getting updated, and then after API call, we have got the latest record that GST number is getting updated. Okay, so when you click on edit, because I had everything in the array itself, that's why I have sent the data from this function like this. But in your case, you might have to use the API call. So this code, it will be in your subscribe of the API call, right? So this is just the change what we have to do. Okay, so with this we have completed template and the reactive form. So again, I will revise. In the reactive form, we have to declare the form, add the controls like this. Again, we can provide the validation and everything, but I have a separate video for the validation, so you can go and watch. Then in the save function, instead of object, now we have to send the dealer form value. Now in HTML part, on the form tag, we have to bind this with the form. Then ng model got replaced with the form controller name. And just to use the save and the update button, you can use any value. Instead, in my case, it is dealer ID. In your case, primary key can be anything. So use like that. Okay. So with this, we have completed template driven form and the reactive driven form. Thank you. Please do subscribe and share.